not too long ago, at the time of this recording at least, probably a few days ago, I sent an email to my list quoting this guy who was not too happy with me, where he basically replied to one of my daily emails not too long, I think like maybe last month or something, saying, "Ben, this email has no value in it. You need to, it's just pure sales pitch. Hopefully next time you won't waste my time." And to me, it was very funny because around that same time I got an email from someone saying how much money they've made because of the free emails, many of which don't really do any hard teaching. I'm very much against, for example, going into a informational product, pulling out teaching and putting it in an email and sending it out. I know that that's value, right? Everybody wants their value. Give me value. That's like this is like the most incessant lie that you need to give value that you'll probably ever hear in the marketing world. You do have to give value, but not in the way that people think. Not in this, give free information away. There's this, people I very much respect, actually, what I'm about to say, do this, and I just disagree with them. I think they're holding back their sales. They think that if they give away their best stuff free, that people will see it and say, wow, if this is the free stuff, just imagine what's in the paid stuff. And I'm not going to say that it doesn't work, because they can work. For certain people with certain positioning in the marketplace now, that can work very good. However, for most people I have found, certainly was a case when I did it, your mileage may vary, but all you're doing is setting people up for disappointment. Like, if you give the best stuff free and then they pay for it, and it's not as good as the stuff they got for free, how are they not going to be disappointed? Which causes a whole other slew of problems beyond the scope of this video. But my point is this: value to me is very subjective. It's a very subjective thing that means different things to different people. And there's a car going by. I'm on a very narrow road here. I don't want to get hit. I want to teach something here. I want to give value, but I don't want to lose my life or limb in the process. But so in my way of thinking, value is not giving away free stuff that other people have paid for, that they'll never use and they'll never value because they didn't pay for it. So in my way of thinking, value is giving someone a solution to a problem that vexes them or helps them get something they really want. That's, to me, value. Value is in selling them something that's going to improve their lives. When you sell somebody something, when they have some skin in the game, they're far more likely to use it, use it in context, apply it, whatever it is you sell. And so it is. I mean, this is just human nature. So this idea of giving free stuff, I still give value in a way. And I teach this in the Email Players Schema book, which I give to people who join Email Players. This is, combining content with promotion. It's a skill. It's a learnable skill that anybody can do. It just takes practice. But this idea of giving value, I don't sit down and write an email and say, how can I give value to my market? My thought is, what do I have to say? What is going on in their lives right now? What problem do they have that I can help them with? It's mission and purpose. It goes back to Jim Camp's mission and purpose. Now, Jim Camp was the world's most feared negotiator for a reason. He, at any given time, he would have $1 billion worth of negotiations going on, over multiple deals at any given time. And the FBI had changed their entire terrorist negotiation protocols because of him. And so it is. It's not because he's certainly no floozy. The guy knew what he was doing. And for him, mission and purpose was not about him, about making himself feel better. Here comes another car. I gotta get to the side of the road sometimes. It's not about him and making himself feel better by giving free stuff away and giving up all of his ideas and all that just for someone to hire somebody else who's inferior. Because that's what happens, by the way. From a consulting point of view and that sort of thing, if you just sit there and give all your best ideas away for free, chances are they're going to take them and then go hire someone who actually knows how to sell them. This is as old as consulting and selling is. In fact, the great Seamus Brown, master sales teacher, his headline for sales actually addressed that because it was such a common thing for salespeople. So this whole idea of giving value is not about giving away free stuff. It is about making their lives better. It's a mission and purpose. What the mission and purpose to Jim Camp wasn't about him. It was what is about them, their mission, their purpose, their world. How could he improve their lives with no benefit to him whatsoever? That's how he would approach it. And it changes the whole game. And when I sit down to write an email, I'm not sitting there thinking, well, let me give some free stuff out of my book here. Maybe somebody will buy. It's not how it works. Well, I can't help you unless I sell you something, because you're never going to use it, whatever I have, if I just give it away for free. There is a time to do it, like, as an opt-in to demonstrate your knowledge and credibility and all that. But it's like some kind of daily thing to appease these guys, like that guy who's probably just wandering the Guru Casino now, going from one bright light and shiny slot machine and fun sound to another, thinking he's getting value from all these people who are giving him free crap, who don't even value their own knowledge and experience and content enough to charge for it, which says something right there. That's how you appease those guys, but they're not buyers. And if they do buy something, they're never going to use it. They're just, in my experience, the worst kind of, like, I don't want them as customers, so I'm glad to repel them. I'm glad to waste their time. Because real value is finding a problem to solve and showing someone how to solve it. Selling them a solution to it that they're going to have invest in financially and time, emotions, and everything else, and change their life for the better. That's the whole point. So that is why I don't do this whole jump on this value bandwagon. Why I don't recommend you jump on the value bandwagon. There is a way to sell, though, where you're not just blatantly pitching people. And don't get me wrong, that's important. It is what I teach in the Email Player Schema book. I teach it throughout the Email Players newsletters on various months and times and all that, but it's not rocket science or anything. This topic also touches on something else. It touches on what I'm going to be teaching in the April 2019 issue, which is just the deadline to get is coming up fast. Depending on when you're watching this, it could already be too late. It's March 31st. When I send it to the printer, that's the deadline. I go into the shopping cart, I turn off the product in the shopping cart so nobody could subscribe. And it's funny because for the next week or two, I'll get every month since I started doing this, I get people, Ben, I can't join. Well, because I don't want people joining after the deadline thinking they're going to get that issue, and then I got to explain to them why they didn't get it, yada, yada, yada. It's just, but this does touch upon what the point of that issue isn't about this, but it's not about not giving free stuff or anything. But it's about something much bigger and more broad. Something that it's a concept that it takes courage to use it. I'm not going to lie. To do what I'm going to suggest means doing things like not giving value, amongst many other things, depending on who you sell to and what market you're in, of course. And doing this has changed everything about the way I approach every aspect of my business, including how I think of it long term, how I think of it short term, how I sell, how I don't sell, what kind of products that I create, how I create them, the format I create them, how I deal customer service. It means doing a lot of things that get me laughed at, mocked, once in a while even yelled at by sometimes not always well-meaning people, and a lot of times trolls who are convinced I'm doing wrong and I need to stop it and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know why they have so much cognitive dissonance. They get very angry when people do things that aren't in lockstep in line with the way they do things. Dan Kennedy fanboys are like notorious for this, by the way. No slight on Dan Kennedy, by the way. Actually, what I'm teaching in the April issue is something I first heard from him, and I'm going to show you how I apply it to my business. But his fanboys are like fanatical. They love to give unsolicited advice. Dan Kennedy says. That's how you know you're dealing with them. They don't even ask you a question. They don't even like try to get context about anything. They don't ask your sales. They don't ask anything. Dan Kennedy says you have to do this. Dan Kennedy says you have to do that. And the irony is I'm actually doing exactly what Dan Kennedy taught to do, but they're too stupid to actually have looked any deeper than, oh, you got to use testimonials or you got to have a guarantee. Those are two examples, by the way, of people who have unsolicited told me that I need to do those things because Dan Kennedy says. But no slight on him, by the way. I mean, the irony is I'm actually doing what he taught when I do some of these things, like not give value the way that everybody else does. So more on that in the April 2019 Email Players issue. It is, page for page, I believe, if not the most valuable, certainly one of the most valuable to date after 8 years of doing this. That is for the very few people who apply it and use it and take it to heart and don't just like look at it and nod and say, oh yeah, I already knew this. You didn't already know it. or you certainly didn't think about on a deep level, because I don't know anyone in this business who has, outside of the people I've learned this from, and now I've been observing them do it. Like, for example, I've realized after hearing Dan Kennedy teach this, I understand now why Subway became so big. I understand why Starbucks came so big. I understand why Oprah went from talk show host to media mogul. There's reasons for this that you can apply to your business no matter what you sell. And that is a big part of what the April 2019 issue is. If you're watching this video after that, you're out of luck, because if I ever sell back issues again, I'm not going to include it. I'm 99.9% sure of that. It's just a little bit, I want to keep it exclusive after this. It's good information. I want to keep it I want to make it more exclusive, more prestigious by not allowing anyone to get it after this. But that is it. It's emailplayers.com. And now I can safely get on this one-lane road. There's no cars coming. And I'll see you next time.